That was a good workout. My bar workout today, I'm gonna go stretch doing a different one. This stretch isn't really like enough for me. I really needed that, so I'm gonna go use a different program to do my stretch though, because this one's not enough for my super tight muscles. I'm gonna do controlled. The stretch I'm gonna do today is control. I can't say it. It's 8 minutes, so that's pretty great.
The stretch is when you should really start to practice your self-care. So
I definitely needed that stretch today. That was the one that went deeper and just got to every muscle group. My muscles just are always really tight, so I need a really good deep stretch. I know that, so I just took those few minutes extra and did that stretch, and I feel so much better. Like, my back is always tight and my shoulders have been tight, and I actually like pulled a muscle in my neck sometime this week, so I had to do a lot of extra stretching to like relieve the tension in my neck. And that's just probably because of stress and lack of physical, like paying attention to my body physically for the last month. I've really not been very good at exercising regularly, anything brisk. Like, I walk and I move all day long, but it's not been like faithful exercising like I know that I should. And my muscles get really tight whenever I'm not drinking enough water, and I've definitely not been drinking enough water lately. So I'm gonna be taking better care of myself than I have in the last few weeks, and it's just because I got out of a habit. There's not any real reason. It's just that my habits changed since my husband has been home. He hurt his shoulder at work, and it's just been wonderful having him home with me all the time, but it's thrown off my schedule. So I have my eating schedule, my workout schedule, everything just seems thrown off because it's like Saturday every day, you know? So I don't know. I just got to get my mind in the game and be like, no, just because he's here doesn't mean it's time to relax and enjoy all the time with him that you want, which is really what I'd like to do. I need to take better care of myself regularly. And I'm also finding that as I'm like finishing the last parts of my book and getting the next process started with, which is publishing, I'm a little stressed out, and so I'm kind of feeling overwhelmed and going to food, like old habits of emotional eating. I recognize that in me pretty quickly though, and I'm not going to ignore it. I'm a really big advocate of being self-aware and recognizing like why I'm doing certain things so that I can stop them, and not just stop them out of sheer force, but like thinking through, why am I doing this, so that I can be healed in whatever area it is. And that for me is emotional eating. So I'm still on that journey to healing whatever it is that's causing me to go to food for emotional support, or when I feel out of control or stressed out. I'm working through that still. So I've definitely come a long way, but there's still stuff that comes up that I'm learning. And a lot of it has to do with some things that happened when I was a kid that began my unhealthy relationship with food. And I've just not 100% like got that under control yet. And I don't know that I ever will 100%, but my goal in life has always been to be whole, healed, and healthy on the inside before the outside, not broken in pieces and wounded from the things that have happened to me in the past. And I want to be, healed of those things. So in order to be whole, I have to be healed, and then I'm healthy. So that's really my life goal, and has been for the last 15 years. That's why I wrote the book that I wrote, because I'm an advocate also for others to be whole, healed, and healthy. So maybe what I went through was going to encourage somebody else that what's done to you doesn't have to be who you are. We can remove the labels and remove the things that we feel like are kind of just who we are, but they're not. They're the lies that we believe. If you know me at all, you'd know I've overcome a lot of labels, and that's the goal for that. To be healthy on the outside really needs to start on the inside too. Our physical health is what I'm talking about when I say healthy on the outside, which could be the inside of us, muscles and things like that. But when I say healthy from the inside, I'm talking about our minds and our hearts. And when I'm talking about healthy on the outside, I'm talking about our physical bodies. So that could include blood pressure, backs, all the things that are underneath our skin. I'm not just talking about what's showing up on our frame in the way of weight. If we repress all of the things that we're feeling, things that happen to us, or false labels, those things will begin to affect our body on the inside. We'll deal with anxiety, high blood pressure. There's so many things that have been linked physically that happen to our bodies, to our emotions. So that's really what I mean when I'm talking about, being healthy on the inside, because in order to heal our bodies physically, we have to deal with the things that have happened on the inside of us or are happening. So unforgiveness towards ourselves and others is a really big deal that I work through a lot. If I'm holding on to unforgiveness, I know that it's going to show up in my body some way or another through anxiety or poor sleep, bad dreams, anger. So I really try to be aware of how I'm feeling and then ask myself, okay, why are you feeling this way? And what's going on? Because it's much easier sometimes to just ignore it and keep kind of plowing ahead through life like no big deal. But if we keep ignoring it for too long, it's going to affect us. It's going to be a lot harder to deal with later on than if we were to have just go ahead and dealt with them now and asked ourselves, why are we feeling this way? And we can be all that God's called us to be when we're whole. When we're whole, we're not broken, we're not hurting. We can help heal other people. If you've ever heard the term hurting people hurt people, if we're hurting on the inside, and it may just be towards ourselves, maybe something we believe negatively about ourselves, we're hurting. Eventually, I'm probably going to hurt somebody around me because I'm hurting with my words or my actions, maybe cutting words because I'm frustrated about myself and the words that are going on in my head are really negative. So what's going to come out of my mouth is negative. But if I'm healed, then I can heal others. If I'm walking around broken, it's not going to be very easy for me to actually reach out to somebody else and help them through their brokenness if I haven't received healing for my own brokenness. And I'm talking about our inside, our mind, and our heart brokenness. So just a little thought for the day. I just wanted to share some of that with you guys and just encourage you to do a little self-evaluation today and, just find out what is it that maybe God wants you to give to him today and replace a negative thing that you think about yourself with something positive. And I'll just give you guys a quick example. I spoke with a client this week who said she weighed herself and she cried the entire day because the number on the scale. So that made me so sad, and I just asked her why she felt the need to cry all day over that. And she just said she was disgusted and hated herself. That's a really bad place to be in. And I'm sure a lot of you, like me, have been there before, or maybe you're there now. I don't know. And so I just encouraged her with this. If you hate yourself, any part of your body, you're holding on to unforgiveness towards yourself, it's going to be really hard to get healthy 100% of the way. So you can force yourself to change something you don't like about yourself by browbeating yourself and being negative and mean, but that's only gonna last for so long before you give up and you're tired of it and you're just defeated. So that's what's happening to this sweet woman, and this is what has happened to me in the past too, because negative will only get you so far for so long, and then it's like, forget it, I give up, I don't like this. If you are feeling like you're less than or you hate yourself, the Word of God tells us that you're created in His image. Before you were formed, He knew you. When you were just a tiny little cell starting to multiply in your mother's womb, He knew you and knew you intimately. That means He had a really close connection with you. So intimacy is closeness. He knew every part of you. He created you. He formed you in your mother's womb. He created you wonderfully and perfectly, and the Word says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And He didn't make any mistakes when He created you, even if you think He did. He maybe didn't give you the right color eyes in your opinion, or maybe God didn't create you with the specific body type that somebody else has. All of those comparisons will just tear you down, and it's insulting to the creator of our bodies, to the creator of humanity, because we bear His image. So if we bear His image, even though we're imperfect and we live in this imperfect world, while we are here and we're given this body to steward, the best thing we can do is steward it well and release ourselves from the desire to be perfect or be like someone else, when we are created to be uniquely us, and that's it. You are uniquely you. There's no one else like you, and you're perfectly imperfect. I've made a really cute sweatshirt. You guys can go check out my merch shop and buy one to remind yourself, or t-shirt even. I put it on a t-shirt, a tank top. It says perfectly imperfect, and that is just to remind myself that, yeah, I am flawed, big time. I have so many things I could work on, or so many things that I don't necessarily like about myself that I'm still trying to learn to love. I am made to be imperfect, but it was perfectly done. God did it on purpose, and anything he does is perfect. And he gave me the mom and dad that he did to create me specifically. So I'm not created on accident, I'm not created by chance, and I'm not a mistake, and neither are you. We all have things about our bodies that we don't like, and we all have things about the way we are that we don't like maybe we're impatient, maybe we're lazy, or maybe we're not committed. There's things like personality things that we wish we could change, or we're working on changing maybe. When you look in the mirror, what's the first thing that your eyes go to that you're like, gosh, I really hate that part of me? And for me, mine was my stomach. I could not stand it. So I would go in the mirror, and the first place my eyes would go is straight to my stomach, and I would start cursing my stomach by not cursing it like with curse words. I'm saying like I would curse it like, God, I hate you stomach, you're so ugly. One day this thought came to me, and I was like, okay, you're being mean to yourself. You would never let anybody talk to you the way you talk to yourself without getting punched in the face. So why are you talking to yourself like this? I had this thought, I need to bless my body and not curse it because it's operating well. I'm standing, I have my stomach, yes, it may have extra fluff on it that I don't like for myself, but I shouldn't hate any part of my body and curse it. I need to speak life over my body and speak life to my stomach. I need to be thankful for this area of my body, because it's not just the stomach, the organ, it's just this area on the outside that I'd see and be like, oh, I can't stand you. So I had to stop hating and rejecting any part of myself. And once I started practicing looking in the mirror and saying, I love you, I'm so thankful for you, stomach. Thank you for all you do for me. Thank you that you operate well. Thank you that you're healthy. Thank you, God, for blessing me with a body that operates well. Thank you for strength. Thank you. And I would just go through this list, and until finally I would just start looking at my body in a different way. And am I 100% pleased with the way that I look all the time? No. But I stopped cursing myself and started blessing myself and finding things to be thankful for. Like, thank you for creating the color of my eyes this beautiful green, instead of why do I have these bags that are hereditary, and why could I just not have had those? I have to look at the positive things and the things that are good about me and forgive myself for being so mean. I just want to encourage you, take time to take care of yourself. It's so helpful when you have a routine. I am still working on establishing that, and I'm not perfect at it, so I'm not preaching to you to do this. I'm doing it with you. I'm working on it too. I am trying and we're all just trying. So do your best. Just sit down, maybe at the end of the day, purpose that you're going to put your phone away, turn your TV off, and just take some time in the evening, an hour, and just do a little self-reflection, self-analysis. Give yourself permission to think. Give yourself permission to even recognize all the things that you're trying to stuff down inside, and you're like, wow, I really need to deal with this. So it's not easy to do, but you can do it. I promise you that it's so worth it to get to the other side of your emotional healing so that we can get healthy. And if you're alone and you don't have anybody to talk to and you feel overwhelmed by this idea, please reach out to me and look me up on Instagram and we can talk that way. So I hope this encourages you today. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you just happened upon this video, just go ahead and click that subscribe button. I would love for you to join me. Until next week, bye.